All right, when I call your name, you need to stand and let me know that you are here. Otherwise, I'm gonna assume you're not and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Kavanta Thomas.
Mr. Thomas is present. Counsel.
Randy Folsom, custody. Tony Medellin, custody. Mary Guerrera. Mary Stella Guerrero. Brian Pina. Josephine Marquin. Daniel Chapa, custody. Teresa Frias.
Yes, Your Honor. Present on her behalf, if I may be afforded the opportunity to give her a call, I can advise.
Thank you. Daniel Montoya, custody. Robert Stevens, Robert Dale Stevens. Thank you. Jeffrey Guerrero, Jorge De Leon, custody. Vanessa Portales. Aaron Joseph Mendez Trevino.
Here,
Thank you. Juan Aguilar. Lorenzo Garcia IV. Albert Hernandez, custody. Jaime Antonio Escobedo. Jaime Escobedo or Jamie Escobedo. Jose Romero, custody. Mary Ballinger, custody. Oscar Jimenez. Courtney Flores. Richard Vance, custody. Maria Villarreal. Thank you. John Philip McCarter. All right, thank you. Christopher Caballero. Tyler Ashbaugh, that's at 2. Rodolfo Aceves. Thank you. Francis Rigby, custody. Victoria Villarreal. Sammy Salazar. Marcelo Flores. Ashley Draper Ward, custody. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, attorney, here are the rules. I don't like repeating the rules, but when I don't, I find attorneys lose their way. So these are the rules for this court. You're not ready to confer with the court if you have not conferred with your client and confer with your state, with the state. If the client is in custody, yes, they need to be brought out. Once you have requested your client to be brought out by the deputy, do not leave the courtroom. The reason why is because for security reasons, there are only so many inmates that are allowed in the box at one time. Do not be selfish to your other colleagues by ordering someone and then leaving. If you have a client who wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, we're going to need an interpreter. Once the interpreter is requested, do not leave the courtroom because we have a limited number of interpreters and we try to get them in and get them out. When we're on the record, do not approach, do not talk behind the court reporter. Why? Because I want to concentrate 100% on what people are saying to me in case someone has an argument and they're requesting certain things. I do think if you were before me, you would want 100% of my attention and not 98%. So that is why. Why do I explain these things to people when people say you're the judge, you don't have to explain anything? Because I believe that once you know that there is a reason behind things, you will understand and people won't get frustrated by it. This is the criminal trial division. This is family violence. Just pull your file, have a seat. They're going to call you in the order of appearance. State, will you please call them in the order in which they lay their files down? So you don't need to surround them. Just put your file down. They're going to call you and everything is going to run smoothly. Once you're ready to approach the court, just ask the clerk or the coordinator to pull your file, have a seat. There's no reason to stare at me because if I haven't called you, that's because I'm writing something in the system. I'm trying to get Odyssey working. So if we follow those rules, it's going to be a great day. And for defense attorneys, they put notices on every door. Sometimes when you see email and you see things on doors, it becomes spam. So you just ignore it because it's like white noise. But my understanding that is for you to do e-invoice. And they're having it on the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor. And I think it's until April 4th. So please read that, proceed accordingly so you can get paid accordingly. So everyone, it's Monday. We're currently alive. Please confer. Deputy Laura? Jurors were great downstairs. And I thought I would be down there from 8:30 to 9:30, but we came back earlier. Oh, just ask to approach the clerk so they can pull whatever needs to be pulled for me, okay? Oh, it's John McCarter? Yes, what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, my office set the occupational license hearing for today.
Mhm.
But I spoke to him yesterday and I did not feel he was far enough along. I
Okay.
said, no, he's done everything. And I was really happy until he said that he hadn't gone to an AA meeting. And I said, well, you did the DWS. Go, like, we're not going to go before the judge. We'll go to AA meetings. So I thought I could reset it. I may have misspoken.
Oh, no problem. Yes, you can reset it. Just speak with the coordinator and she'll put it on whatever date you want it placed upon.
Next week, I told him get those meetings in.
Okay, all right. Just let the coordinator know so they can put it on the docket.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
You're gonna give me a point. Thank you.
So much.
All right, Norma, what date?
20. The 31st.
All righty. All right, state, this is a case, I don't know if it's family violence or criminal trial division. If you all can see if you have any objections. Deputy Laura, guess who started reading The Fourth Wing? You did not prepare me appropriately. Not Dylan. You know, in the first chapter. But Sean,
I just restarted that, Judge, this morning.
yes, not Dylan.
He's the one that was about to get married to his fiance and.
Oh.
I mean, they didn't prepare you for that. You know, people are talking.
Have you read it, Judge?
No, here's my thing. I have a lot of books, right? And so whenever I go to the bookstore, they will say, oh, Stephanie, this is something you may like. I read everything. It just depends on the mood I'm in for what genre I read. And so I have Packed in the Box, that entire series, but I have to find it. So instead of finding it, I just downloaded it. And so I started reading it. And let me just tell you, she has not followed any rule that her sister gave her, which may be a good thing, maybe not.
Well, you are in for I won't even tell you anything else, but.
No, do not, because, and I'm gonna tell Jamisa, but Jamisa always does audio, and when she's driving, she is just like, I have to pull over and stop because this is getting to be too much. But no, I'm liking it. But it reminds me of another series I read, and it's gonna come to me the name of that series, but I'm enjoying it. Somebody should make that into a movie, just like they should make Blood Guard into a movie.
I think I don't know if it's Hulu or Amazon, but one of those.
Oh, wow. Don't make me get Hulu just for that series.
I would suggest it.
I know you worked on most judicial.
State, did you all have a chance to review this request on Christopher Caballero for the return of seized property?
Yes.
All right, so if you all can approach. And Mr. Caballero, if you'll come forward. Hello. All right, so here's my question. With regards to the seizure of some of these items, has there been a civil suit filed with that?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, if someone can check on that to see if there has already been forfeiture proceedings that have started.
I know that there hasn't on this one, Your Honor, because the only reason I think that they haven't, because there was a motion that was signed for return of the property, but we did it to Neil Kalfas, and that's why we filed this amended one. So I think that the property's still there. It's not in a pending litigation. But the only thing that we wanted to change, and I let the state know because I know that they don't agree, and they didn't. We wanted to have the items returned to Mr. Caballero rather than Mr. Kalfas.
All right, well, I mean, we can have a hearing on it.
And this, I was gonna let you know, the state agreed to 17 and 18, but that's about it. And that's the currency and I believe phone.
All right, so again, we're back to the question of whether a pretrial diversion, what does that mean as far as the returning of seized property? If it were an outright dismissal, then.
Right.
So does anybody have any case law on that?
No, Your Honor, and I know that he's not entitled to it. That's what we're requesting it from the court. And that's why I want to confer with the state first, just because I knew that their policy is usually not to agree to stuff like that.
All right, so does anybody have any case law saying that it should or should not? I know what the law says about returning a property that's clearly been dismissed. And if it were just a dismissal and not a pretrial diversion, then there will be no question that it goes back to the defendant. So does anyone have any case law?
And I don't, Your Honor.
All right, do y'all want to look very quickly, and I'll look very quickly as well?
Yeah, we can do that, Judge.
All right, let's do that. And I'll look as well. So just have a seat. It'll only take a few moments. Research doesn't take that long these days.
Well, then I'll just have to keep you a question.
So did the jurors go in there by 8 o'clock?
Oh, yeah, they're there at 8. And it was standing room only, so there are going to be plenty of jurors if people want a jury trial.
I'll be there Wednesday at 8.
I will see you there. Deputy Laura, is Sydney going to try to approach me to be removed from jury duty? That is not going to happen.
But yes, Judge, it is my pet peeve. They say they're courteous honors and they have to be excused.
Mhm. All right, Rodolfo Aceves. Hi, I'm so sorry. Your attorney told me about your father's passing. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you for sharing, to be honest.
If you need anything or to talk to anyone about that, just let probation know, okay? And then there was a request for you to travel. So that was approved. So you'll be able to travel. They're going to make you do a UA when you come back.
Mhm.
All right, how's everything else going?
Well, everything else is going pretty good. I still on the same job, still working on it, and oh yeah, me and my family are all right and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you need anything else from the court, just let us know, okay? Ms. Abrams, is there anything else?
No, Judge, his probation officer indicates that he's complying with all the
I mean,
conditions of his probation. He doesn't have any concerns at this point, and they're just wishing to continue to monitor.
All right, so if you keep this up, the court will, of course, consider early termination if you complete everything successfully. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what I am going to do. You know, Fiesta is coming up. Let's not get crazy doing Fiesta, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right, so what we'll do, when do you want to recall this back, Vashon, just to see how everything is going?
Judge, 45 days or 90 days is sufficient. I think 90 days would be sufficient.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 90-day reset just for an update. All right, so we'll see you back on June 23rd. That is a Monday. Is that good for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Just one last thing. I really want to say the thank yous for allowing me to go to travel to Mexico.
All right,
To
you.
visit my family.
All right, you're welcome. And if you just need something, I always tell people communication is key. Just ask probation. If you feel as though for some reason they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Norma, if you'll give him a reset form.
Yes, ma'am. I'm good.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Daniel Montoya. Sure, just approach when you all are ready.
We're not opposed to it.
All right, thank you.
Get a Jose Romero. Yes,
Jose Romero.
Yes, Your Honor, present on this matter.
Yes.
Your Honor, with regard to him, I just met with him at the magistrate court, and the court did order an evaluation for him, which is supposed to be conducted soon. They reset the matter till May 1st.
Mhm.
I was gonna request a date soon thereafter of that to see about the status of that evaluation and how the mag court's gonna treat the competency issue.
All right, is he on docket today?
Yes, Your Honor, yeah.
And where is he?
Believe he's still in the back. You want me to?
Yes, Deputy Lord, could you bring out Jose Romero? All right,
Okay.
and when is the
The setting in magistrate court with Judge Lisa Rodriguez is May 1st, Judge. And I did want to let the court know that I have a vacation letter from May 12th through the 16th of that week, but I can do it either before or after.
okay. So they have a competency evaluation scheduled.
Yes, it's already scheduled, Judge. It's my understanding it's going to be conducted with Dr. Lee. And then they're going to send that finding to me and then the prosecutor, and then we're going to evaluate whether I guess it's agreed or contested.
So are they evaluating him on that date, or he's already going to be evaluated on the May 1st date?
It's my understanding he had an appointment on March 21st with the doctor for that evaluation. But then the court, the magistrate court just, I guess, set it for May 1st because they don't know how long the report. It should take 30 days, which would be, yeah, I guess April 24th.
When is your vacation?
It's May 12th, Judge. So do you guys have availability perhaps between between May 1st and maybe like the 10th, somewhere in that week, May?
Well, no, I mean, if you want to, you're saying May 10th, that's the weekend we won't be here.
Okay, okay.
But do you want it the week of the 5th or something else?
Sure. Yeah, I think actually, Judge, now you mentioned the 5th. I have another setting with y'all on May 5th. So if that day works with you, that would.
Right, we'll put it on May 5th. Norma, Jose Romero, that's going to be coming back on May 5th.
Great. Thank you so much, Your Honor. I'll inform him of that as well, Judge.
Okay.
And then I also, on another matter on today's docket, that state just handed me a dismissal. Yeah, can I get a Robert Stevens, please?
As I'm up here, I have this motion. Sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome. All right.
Yes. Have a moment.
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
I just need to put a couple of things in the system. Deputy Laura, do you see Romero on the docket? The page he's on? It's Jose Romero. Page 3? All right, thank you. Daniel Montoya? All right, first things first, defense, do you know when his competency evaluation is scheduled?
No, I do not. I didn't check with Judge Rodriguez's court this morning.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you look on Daniel Montoya and see when his competency is scheduled? And then you're asking for his bond to be reinstated?
Yes, Your Honor. And we're not objecting to the same conditions of leg monitor. And for him to, he was actually at the Haven for Hope, and I was able to talk to him. And on the 20th, to let him know about the warrant.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Could someone pull the violation report on Daniel Montoya for me, please? Thank you. Let me just have them pull the
Okay.
report, unless you have a copy of it.
Well, mine has writing on it.
Okay.
But may I just add this part, and I'm not going to talk about the violation report. What I'm going to talk about is that once I was able to get a hold of him, he does not have a cell phone. He was at the Haven for Hope, and I told him about the warrant, and he went and turned himself in on the 20th. With his leg monitor on. So just so the court will know that. And that's the relief we're going to be seeking, is that he had another address that Lifetime set up for him, but it was not workable. So he wants to go back to the Haven for Hope with the leg monitor.
But she over the competency was sent over last week.
All right, thank you. All right, so I am not the one who signed the bond forfeiture. At least I don't think I am because it doesn't show.
It was an after hours, Your Honor.
All right, so does anyone want to see the violation report?
State does have a copy, Your Honor.
And I have a copy.
So I understand that you're saying he was at the Haven for Hope, but my concern is the charge he has, and it says that he was at Gloria's Hideout, which is a bar, from 7:41 PM to 8:14 PM. And then he was at another bar, the Sunset Bar, from 8:35 PM to 9:42 PM. And then he went back to Gloria's Hideout from 9:44 PM to 11:35 PM. And he never returned.
Yeah, Your Honor, and if I misled you in any way,
Oh,
he
no.
went to the Haven for Hope after, right, on the
After the
20th.
bar runs.
Well, he never went in any bars. He doesn't have any money.
No, I
And-
mean, it says here that that's where he was.
No, there's a difference between being in a parking lot and being in a bar.
I'm just saying what this says. So he was there
So
and he wasn't supposed to be there.
he broke curfew. And that his curfew was 10 PM. Okay. So we're just seeking for him to, after he left there, he went to the Haven for Hope. And that's where on the 20th, and that's where he remained. They processed him in, even though he had a leg monitor, even with this charge, that he could stay there. And that's where he would like to go back.
All right, so to the clerk, could you pull for me the conditions of his bond? Just whoever put the conditions in. Oh, no problem. All right, so he was on partial GPS for employment and or school approved upon verification. So it wasn't a curfew. He was only allowed to be out and about if it was for employment. So,
And he was out and about because he did not like where Lifetime arranged for, like, in some, like group home or a place where other people live. He didn't do well there. So, he was just roaming around, and then he decided to go to the Haven for Hope. That was his thing. Judge, he needs, that's one of the beauties of a Haven for Hope, is they'll have access to a telephone for people there to assist him, not only with his medication.
no, but we're still not addressing the issues that, one, he's on GPS. It's not a GPS curfew. It's for employment or school only. And that's with approval. So he wasn't working and he was at, whether he went into the bar or not. Did you go into the bar? All right. So he's in a parking lot at two different bars.
And just for the state's record, looking on Google, there's no parking lots. These are on the side of the street. And I have those images pulled up if the court would like to see.
So those are my issues.
Are you saying that this building has no parking, which would, they don't allow people to put businesses up without at least a few parking spaces? So I'm not sure about that. But, Your Honor, I think the issue here for him is where can he continue getting his mental health and be in a more secure place than Haven for Hope, where he can have his mental exam, he can come to court, he can do all of those things. Locking him up doesn't serve a purpose, just he's now going backwards. Because at Lifetime, he was put on medication, he was getting counseling, and
he
now
left Lifetime.
everything is, a Lifetime is great. Now everything is going to be undone. Keeping him in jail doesn't help him, because we know that there's not a psychiatrist that's going to come by today when he gets back and say, hey, how are you doing? You know, how are your medications going? You know, he can't take anything unless somebody, a psychiatrist,
Well, the
sees
problem
him.
is he's on GPS. I don't take the offense as true or not, but I do have to go by the fact that it's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And
This is his first violation, Your Honor.
he's on curfew. I mean, not on curfew. He's on partial for employment or school only. And we got the tattoo things that are going on here. So, yeah. State, are you in agreement with reinstating?
We are not, Your Honor. The state will remind the court that we were here last time on the 17th, which was the day before this for a sentencing hearing, where the defendant was supposed to be sentenced. There was an issue of competency, so he was released, or not released, I'm sorry. I guess walked out with the GPS monitor, and the next day he goes to two different bars. The state's concerned that he's violating his pretrial conditions. He's not taking the orders of the court seriously. He is going to bars whether he went in or not. I don't have any proof otherwise, but if he's just standing in parking lots of bars, that's also concerning. Additionally, he is a repeat offender and on for a violent offense, which has 2 counts with 2 different victims.
All right.
And so at this time, the state's just.
All right. And also with regards to reinstating the bond, it will be up to the bondsman, number one, whether or not they want the bond reinstated, because I cannot reinstate a bond when there is a commercial bond unless the bondsman has no objection to that. So honestly, I'm not inclined to reinstate his bond either way.
Well, Your Honor, the reason to put him on leg monitors, keeping away from the target, from the individuals that alleged to have been a victim of alleged crime, Your Honor. And that didn't happen. So we're not, the purpose of the leg monitors to keep him away from them. And that he was successful in doing, Your Honor. All throughout when he got out on bond and since he's been on leg monitor.
All right. So
we're asking for a second chance, Your Honor, because the purpose of the leg monitor, the spirit of the leg monitor was obeyed.
all right, the motion is denied. I will not reinstate the bond. And we can go on the record. Court is calling 2024 CR 0111984, State versus Daniel Montoya. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state defense?
Arlene Gay.
And are you Mr. Montoya? I'm sorry, Daniel Montoya. Thank you. All right, Mr. Montoya, your attorney filed this motion to reinstate bond. As I've stated off the record, the court cannot reinstate bonds for a bondsman unless that bondsman informs the court that they want the bond to be reinstated. So the reinstatement of the bond is going to be denied.
If the bonding company comes to you, Your Honor, and they haven't filed an affidavit to surrender surety.
Mhm.
So it was an order from another judge that issued an arrest warrant. So if the bonding company lets the court know, we want to still be on this bond, does that mean the court is saying that you will allow him to continue outside in the free world on bond?
Now, what I'm saying is the first hurdle that the defense has in reinstating the bond is whether or not the bondsman wants the bond reinstated. The court has nothing before it suggesting that the bondsman wants the bond to be restated. So before we even get to the state's argument about why it should not be reinstated, the first hurdle is the bondsman. And the court has no information before it that the bondsman wants to continue to be on your bond. So reinstatement is denied.
Okay, Your Honor.
And if
Can we-
you,
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
no, if you speak to the bondsman and you all want to reapproach after you've spoken to the bondsman, you're an officer of the court, I'll accept whatever you state the bondsman has said. Then we can come back and then we'll go to the next steps.
Okay, great. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Brian Pena. Good morning. Any traveling for you? Where you headed?
Mexico City.
All right. I always love your ties.
Thank you.
All right. On this case, so today is your plea deadline date, is that correct?
That's correct.
So Mr. Pena, are you requesting a jury trial? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
I was gonna say more four, just because of the amount of witnesses,
All right.
and we would be going to, if anything, jury for punishment.
All right. Ms. Ferguson.
Yes.
I need a jury trial date, 3 days, not including jury selection for this case, please. It's criminal trial division. All right, July 8th. Is everyone agreeable to July 8th?
So just to understand how that works, we picked July 8th.
Yes.
Okay, then yes, that would work.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What will happen is you'll be brought back July 8th for jury trial. You'll be brought over dressed in whatever attire you have at the jail, whatever civilian clothing you have. If you wish to be attired in something different, you'll have to sign a clothing exchange. And
got it.
counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, just let the court know and we'll see if we can expedite that.
I got it, this. I'll take care of it.
All right, thank you. And before you all leave, if the court can get an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Who is here on Oscar Jimenez? I'm telling you, I'm watching the circle go round and round on Odyssey. All right, where's Mr. Oscar Jimenez?
He's in custody, Your Honor.
All right, he needs to come down. All right, so counsel, you filed a motion to withdraw,
I did, Your Honor.
and do you wish to proceed on the motion to withdraw?
I do, Your Honor.
Are you retained or appointed?
Appointed, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Ferguson, is Mr. Hill on? And are you going to have any objections to this attorney withdrawing? Okay. All right, and Norma, if you can see if Scott Hill can appear, please. All right, the court is going to call 2023 CR 2221, State versus Oscar Jimenez. Can I have someone for the state announce? For the defense?
Woodrow Halsted for Mr. Jimenez.
All right, and you are Mr. Jimenez?
Right.
All right, your attorney has filed a motion to withdraw. Do you have any objections to his motion to withdraw?
No, ma'am.
So what that would mean, if you are still determined to be indigent, which it appears that you would be, then the attorney who would be representing you on this matter would be Griffin Scott Hill. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and knowing that, do you still have no objections to this attorney withdrawing?
Correct.
All right, state any objections.
Sorry.
All right, the motion to withdraw will be granted. Just have a seat and we'll see if we can get the other attorney to be here. And Ms. Ferguson, if you can appoint Griffin Scott Hill to this case as well. All right, thank you.
Maybe excuse?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good, LT here to say hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Judge?
All right, how's it going?
I just came to check on my two, I don't say problem children, my two.
Well, here's the thing. This is what I've learned in government life, that you can't say anyone is doing great, because the minute you say they're doing great and they're fabulous, people want to take them.
Yeah,
So they are right.
the troublemaker, right?
They are right.
Uh-huh, no, they really heal real quick.
They're awesome though.
All right, Judge, have a good.
Don't move them.
No.
Okay.
Waiting for county, how to fix it.
Okay, thanks.
State has no objection. May I approach, Your Honor?
Juan Aguilar,
Morning, Judge.
good morning. Hello, good morning. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, where are we on CPS records?
Judge, I need to file a motion to have those CPS records released, which I can do this afternoon when I get back to my office. I have given the state a thumb drive for discovery. I believe I received that thumb drive back, but I have not filed a motion for CPS records.
All right,
Protective order will need to be signed as well.
okay. And let me see, just a moment. All right, and state, were you able to tender an offer?
I gave an offer. I don't know if defense looked at it in the file. I can show them right now.
Okay. And sir, how old are you?
I am 26 years old now.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset for plea deadline, please.
Yeah, May 1st.
All right. Your plea deadline date is May 1st. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you've accepted the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. And state, if you'll submit the protective order, I'll sign it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, that's Norma giving that date. Norma gave that date. Let the record reflect. All right, May 5th. Vashon? Mhm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Just one moment. State, Norma was giving out a May 1st date and Rick just stood there and accepted it. So that's Fiesta time. Counsel, who are you here for?
Judge, we filed a latter-day writ last night.
Mhm,
If you have a copy in front of you.
mhm.
I talked to the state, they don't seem to have any disagreement. He was indicted on a Sunday, should have been, should have been indicted on a Sunday. That was the 90th day. He was
Mhm.
indicted on a Monday.
Well, Your Honor, the state's objection is, well, I'm in agreement that we unfortunately did not get this case indicted by the 90th day.
Mhm.
So no objection to that part. What I object to is him being released on a PR bond. We would ask that a bond be set in this case with conditions of release.
Well, here's the thing. He needs to be present because number one, I don't know if he can afford a bond or not. I don't know how much the bond should be set at. So
We'd ask for a PR bond, Judge, and if
I need him here because according to the delay rules, he needs to be given a bond that he can make. I don't know if he can make a bond. Maybe
don't
he can
think-
make a bond.
you've been in jail for over 90 days, Judge.
All right. Yeah. So Ms. Ferguson, set Mr. Terrell Joseph Kirk Jackson, please, as soon as possible.
Monday.
Okay. I can't hear it today. Your client is not present. If you want to talk to them, they
I
will.
think it's just a matter of numbers, Judge. If you agree, then he would be in jail. He'd be out of jail. If you disagree,
Well, I can't set a PR bond for him because one, I don't know if he can afford a monetary bond. I don't know what conditions should be set because he's not before me. Ms. Ferguson, if you would, put this on the docket ASAP, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Excuse.
Yes.
Don't get an email or.
And counsel, if you want to see if, you can see if Judge Nahara can give you an earlier date.
I'm sorry, Judge.
I said, if you want to see if Judge Nahara can give you an earlier date, you can, because that is what that court is for.
Oh, okay. If you don't mind that,
No,
great. Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
No, go ahead and send it. If you want to go talk to him, if he's, at least, I'm calling you. You can take my number. Will that work out? Okay. I need to bypass you. Is this a court hour? Yeah, that's why I asked you about the protocol, yeah. So I'm gonna go through the rest of it. Okay. And then we grant them. Oh. But you just said I could go to Naka. You want to do that? You want me to call you and let you know? Oh, okay, perfect, fair enough. She can set it for Monday. If he doesn't agree to it. Well, if he agrees, then I'm calling him up. Okay.
Oh, I guess I'm just cheating. Really big check with that.
Well, I'll have to go to my computer because when it gives us parties, not all the screens. No, I'm serious. These girls, they don't. If you look at the discovery that comes in, you still get most of yours where it just has strings of numbers that make no sense, but include a JN and a offense. And, right, and they may or may not be sequential. Right. But you can't tell who's or what it is, and yet every now and then I'll get discovery that everything's labeled.
Ma'am, don't be talking to me, you'll be sitting outside.
Yeah.
Yes, you three wearing in green.
All right, Deputy Laura, how old is the person in green? Excuse me, the young person in green? How old are you?
14.
Excuse me, is school in session today? Yes, what? All right, so shouldn't he be at home school, being schooled? All right, so why are you all bringing him down here when he should be being homeschooled? No, that's what visitation is for on the weekends. Do you understand? All right, state, if y'all have any objections. All right, I don't even recognize that signature.
I'm sorry.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
blue.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's on a computer. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
That's it.
Yeah, we don't oppose that either.
All right, thank you. And could you do me another favor? Sure. Could you give this to Miss Abrams, please?
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you.
This was much more of a really like. That is how you have a stick with it until we get to the next. Anyway, so.
Can we go over, Monday? Yeah, I gotta.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're welcome.
It's not on there. So. And then there's out. I know it's like. So the police quickly before she's not going to knowledge about it. So she talks about parts. And now I have a job. So. $32 plus 73 now plus the original $100. Plus somehow. So some of the. What if that your babies have a funny story?
So. We have a shot. Yes. Two years to bring it to resolution. That's me. If you want to talk about this, because he's been in since September. And
No.
there. Let's see. So like the third. Only has the use. Here. You hear the dad is. But. And he was living there in the house. It's just. I can't tell you.
It's like to find out how many days in this person has. Andrew would put on found one entry that said 29 days and one entry that said 30 days. So we're trying to check that. Yeah. Okay. Like 405, does that sound right? No, that's not right. There we go. Beautiful, thank you very much. And we are ready on our.
Oh, let me print them for you. I'm sorry, I have to print out the sort of appeals for you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Did they redo the page or something?
Yeah, it was.
They're on that. The same.
I've been feeling that and steal them from you and walk out like nothing's happened.
I never used to.
Fantastic. Let me get her to sign that. I'll bring her right back. Seriously. Thank you.
I like that tie.
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Hey, Miss.
One, right? And I can give her the other, or do you need both? Here's that one. Let me go get it. This is a copy of the same document. You do you. Ready? Thank you. You were full up your screen, but there's no warrant. Not indicted, right? He is not indicted. Chapa? Sorry.
All right, the parties on Draper Ward.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going.
Where is the pen?
Judge.
I don't know
I
yet.
think I was coming to see you today. I usually try to pin one on if I know.
All right, so we are here on a motion to revoke. Are both parties prepared to proceed?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's right here. It's under my
Sure. All right, the court is going to call 2024 CR 1983, State versus Ashley Yvonne Draper Ward. Could I have parties announce?
Andrew Harris, statement for the state.
Melissa Christian for the defendant.
All right, and Normie, could you hand me a file stamp for a motion to revoke? And are you Ashley Yvonne Draper Ward? You're gonna need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Ashley Yvonne Draper Ward who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2024 CR 1983 for the offense of attempting to take a weapon from an officer on June 27, 2024 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
On or about the 23rd day of December 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Ashley Yvonne Draper Ward committed the offense of tampering with electronic monitor violation.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining violation allegations.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not, Judge.
State, what are you requesting?
Adjudicate guilt, assess punishment at 2 years of confinement in the state jail facility.
All right, and defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, she has 415 days credit. So we are asking the court to give her credit for time served.
All right. So you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ashley Yvonne Draper Ward.
All right, what have you done while you've been on probation? Well, let me do this. Did you complete parenting classes?
I did several of them.
But did you complete it?
No, ma'am.
Why not? Deputy Laura,
The program,
excuse me, you're not dressed appropriately for court. Yes.
because I left the program, ma'am.
All right, why did you leave the program?
I acted on impulse.
All right, that doesn't explain why you left the program. What was the impulse you were acting on?
Just overwhelmed. There was a lot going on up there and I just got fearful when I left.
All right, did you complete anger management?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and with regards to the referral for Center for Healthcare Services, had you been in contact with them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Doing what?
Worked at Little Caesars and then I was a home health care provider.
Oh, see, I don't even know why that's being allowed because I don't allow people to be home health care providers. And I specifically said no employment as a home health care provider. You're overwhelmed by life and yet you're somebody's home health care provider. But I don't allow people who have felony cases to be home health care providers.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's number 1. Probation, what are you recommending?
Judge, probation's recommendation is to amend for safety followed by aftercare.
All right. You have a choice. You can go to safety or I can revoke you. And if I revoke you, I'm sentencing you to the 2 years. Either way, time is going to pass in your life. It can either pass with you in safety and you're going to get extended on this probation, by the way. If you go to safety, I'm going to extend you for a year. So if you want to just do your time, you can do your time. You can go to the state jail facility. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years, or I will send you to safety.
You'll get credit. The judge will give you credit for time served. State jail does their own calculations.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. time and money for run concurrent. And I'll recommend the therapeutic community. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is that it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are in deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you will need to speak to an attorney. So you're going to be sentenced to the 2 years in the state jail facility. You are entitled to whatever time that you've previously served. And I'm going to recommend the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community is to help you hopefully get your life in order so the criminal system will not see you again. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Who's here? Maria Villarreal? Thank you. How's it going?
Hey, Judge, how are you?
All right, Fiesta is almost upon us, right?
No, fortunately.
They shouldn't have Fiesta during tax season or tax season during Fiesta time.
Well, I have a daughter that's April 13th,
Oh, wow.
and my
Yeah.
sister's the 15th too. She's a
Yeah,
Texas.
my mom is in April too. The Taurus rule. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I believe that this is her first setting. I know it's an older case, but it was an at-large. She was just arrested in February. This is our first setting. We've reviewed the case, but there is some documentation that I need to get from my client. I
Okay,
can provide to this.
all right, do you have all of the discovery?
I believe I do, Judge.
State on Maria Villarreal, were you able to tender an offer? On Maria Villarreal, it's a drug case. Were you able to tender an offer?
There's not an offer.
All right, so if you can tender an offer, and Ms. Ferguson, set this for a plea deadline date in 30 days. All right, so April 24th will be your plea deadline date. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Do you have any questions about anything?
No.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. Just have a seat and your attorney will bring the reset form to you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's here on Daniel Chapa the fourth? Who's the attorney for Daniel Chapa? Court is calling 2024 CR 011378 State versus Daniel Chapa the fourth. Could I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway from State.
Brian Kimbrough from Mr. Chapa.
And are you Mr. Chapa?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Probation, there are no applications. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're waiting for visual.
Any objection? Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That is a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you were giving up those rights. Did you understand?
Ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Chapa, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
Oh, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
Oh, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain agreement page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 9 months in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. There's an $800 fine. And the state is taking in consideration 2024 CR 011211. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, am I getting, back time? Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is the plea.
State, is that the plea? Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions? Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
No objection.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? And state, you may be excused. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront
Yes, ma'am.
any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, he's been in jail for, I believe, 129 days on this case. I spoke to his family. He does have a lot of family support. I'm asking the court to file a plea bargain.
All right, so you have a lot of family support?
Mhm.
Then why won't you do right?
That's what they get mad at me all the time.
No, I mean, I'm not mad at you. I'm just wondering why won't you do right? Here you are.
All short.
Here's the thing, you're falling short a lot.
Yes,
And let me
ma'am.
just tell you something. You're worried about whether you're going to get credit for any time served. Legally, I have to give it to you. If I didn't have to give it to you legally, I probably wouldn't give it to you. And the fact that you are sitting out here tattooing weapons on your face and doing all this extra nonsense, which is nonsense. I don't know what your plans are. Who do you think wants to hire you or would hire you with a weapon tattooed on your face?
It's hard for me to get a job. I regret it.
Yeah, it's hard for you to get a job, and yet you continue doing foolishness. You started with the neck tattoo, and I always tell people, here's the thing. I don't have any problem with anybody having a tattoo. Go forth, be you. But if you're trying to get employment, maybe you should consider not having tattoos that come above the clavicle. You understand?
You're honestly right.
All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 9 months in the Bear County Jail under 1244. There's an $800 fine. I'm not running time and money concurrently. Take in consideration 2024 CR 011211. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Do you love anybody more than you love yourself?
I do.
And who is that?
Family.
All right, so here's the thing. You're using drugs. There are plenty of places in Bear County that will give you help with your drug addictions. Don't make it hard on your family by either spending the rest of your life in somebody's prison or somebody's jail, or because you've overdosed, if you've gotten a bad batch of drugs and there's somebody that needs to be identified. You know who they call in to identify the body? Family members. Don't put that on your family. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sure. Oh. Oh. Guilty. I mean, it happens. People always think it can't happen to them. Yeah. All right, who's here on Aaron Joseph Mendez Trevina? All right, so on this case, where are we on discovery?
Judge, I think there is some discovery I need. There's also a case in intake that's similar. I'm trying to get the details on that's not indicted. I did get a preliminary offer on this case that we're approaching the court on. But I do think I am missing some discovery from the case that's not indicted yet. And I'm gonna see if we can exchange that over the next week.
All right, and how old are you?
18 years old.
18. Ms. Ferguson, give me a 60-day reset date. That's gonna be your plea deadline date.
I can do maybe 20.
All right, your plea deadline date is going to be May 22nd. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. If you've reached an agreement with the state, then your case will be disposed of that day. If you haven't reached an agreement, you will be set for jury trial. Do you understand? All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Just have a seat. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mr. Guerrero?
He didn't see that. He didn't do that there. He just stood there. He didn't say it. He just said, "Hi, guys."
Are you serious? No, we had a good talk.
Oh, you know Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, do I need to wait a while or? Okay. Yeah.
Deputy Laura? Oh, let me show you something. Open it up. It's so nice. No, open it. Oh. Yeah, it's so cute. So cute. That, beautiful little hearts. They're always awesome. Everyone, if your attorney has not appeared, you need to call them. The court is going to be taking its recess soon for the afternoon, and you'll need to come back in the afternoon. All right, thank you.
Oh. On Saturday.
Me and Mr. Guerrero are okay. I think this is verification. That dates for us. If he still wants to use the water, and we do. What's that? Yes, ma'am. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Guerrero?
Scott Sullivan for Mr. Guerrero, Your Honor.
All right, hello. Good afternoon. Let me see. All right, so on this case, where are we on discovery matters?
If I could briefly,
Yes.
quickly, and I spent a lot of time with him last week and this weekend.
Mhm.
And do you still want me to be your lawyer, sir? Yes, sir. You're comfortable with that? Yes, sir. And Judge, I thought that was one of the base reasons. And we've got most of the discovery, I think. And I think I need to check with them on a few other matters.
Okay.
Likewise, I need to talk with somebody, with an attorney who's on the panel, but also was up in Denver, Colorado as a previous, he used to work arsonist. And he might be my expert. I'll talk to him about that and approach the court in the days to come about that. Whenever the court wants us, set us for trial, we can go, but like a little, maybe a month or so for me to get it. I don't know. I don't want to tell the court how to run its docket, but it would be helpful if we could get that. Oh, and last thing, we do have a motion for PR bond for him. If the court could set that maybe later this week, I'll
Yes.
have some witnesses here.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. Are we able to call back this week or next week for a hearing on a request for PR bond?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the earliest we can do it, okay?
31st is fine. I'll be here.
I'll set, so March 31st will be for your motion for a PR bond. And then the next thing is I need a plea deadline date of 30 days, please. All right, so April 24th will be your plea deadline date. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. If you have not, your next court date will be your jury trial date. Do you understand?
And I wanted to make sure I had the dates right. The 31st for the motion.
Yes.
And then what was the other one, Your Honor? I apologize.
Plea deadline.
Plea deadline.
Yes.
And thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Now be excused.
Yes. All right, who is here on Cavanta Thomas? Who's the attorney for Cavanta Tyrone Thomas? All right. All right, is this a plea?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2024 CR 008-305 State versus Cavanta Tyrone Thomas. Could I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway.
Anthony Miller for Mr. Thomas.
And are you Mr. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Thomas, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No objection.
All right, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is.
Mr. Thomas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
off the record for a moment. Cindy, you need a cough drop? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Do you need any water?
No, I've got a drink.
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 4 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. The state is silent on your application. This will run concurrent with 2024 CC 740267. The state is taking in consideration 2025 CC 002368. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
That is correct, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
We've had an opportunity to review, Your Honor. We have no objection.
All right, and state, have you spoken with the complainant?
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're willing to do that, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. At this particular time, Mr. Thomas has fully acknowledged that he handled the situation improperly. He did not intend to harm anyone or cause any type of conflict, Judge. He was under the impression that this individual had taken items from him and were tracking him on his
Well,
phone.
according to the stipulated evidence, he was correct in his assumption. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, I understand that people get frustrated when people steal things from them because people have worked hard for what they have. Why somebody needs some Louis Vuitton earbuds, that's what people can spend their money on, whatever they want to spend their money on. But this is definitely not the right way to handle things, because when you do that, so many things could have gone wrong. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All you had to do was call the police and said, these are where the earbuds are. I'm tracking them. That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, guess what's going to end up happening? Now you're going to be on deferred adjudication for a felony when all you had to do was pick up the phone. And then I will tell you this, if things would have went truly sideways and you would have ended up perhaps killing somebody or you perhaps being killed, then we'd be in a whole different situation because you'd be charged with murder. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So the fact that, there's a theft, that is no excuse. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What do you do?
I drive 18-1,
Okay.
a third-party contract for the military.
All right. And do you go out of state?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So do you just drive throughout Texas?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Do you have any children?
I have one.
Age?
3.
All right. And see, they were asking for forced silent. You could have been away from your child for 4 years if I would not have granted your application. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you got to start making better decisions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. Or there can be the patch. The patch costs more, but since you're a truck driver, that may help you as far as taking UAs.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
patch is a device that they put on you. You're not allowed to remove it. They put it on and then you come back when it's time for it to be removed and then they'll see if there are any positives. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There is to be proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. He's allowed to travel. State, any objections to allow him to travel throughout the state of Texas for his employment? He's a truck driver. All right, he's allowed to travel throughout Texas for employment. Just make sure you let probation know. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once that's completed, the court will deem 50 hours satisfied. I'm going to order anger management. And once that's completed, the remaining 50 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Judge, the only thing we bring to the court's attention is Mr. Thomas is currently on GPS full house arrest. So we would like, of course, to have that removed.
All right, and I'm sorry, just 1 second. Take in consideration 2025 CC 002-368. And this is the run concurrent with 2024 CC 740267. State, with regards to the GPS, any objection to the removal? All right, and the court will order GPS removal. And there is an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Is there anything else that you need to be successful on this probation?
Just you give me another opportunity to get my life back straight.
She has.
And
All right, so here's the thing, when you're on probation out of this court, on probation anywhere, you're not allowed to drink alcohol, you understand?
yes, ma'am.
In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel they're not following the court's instruction that allows you to travel throughout Texas for employment, tell probation. That's what the judge ordered. If there's still an issue, you can always come back to the court and address it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. And just remain in the courtroom, and probation will go over conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. May I
welcome.
be excused?
Yes.
The first bench, sir.
No. Yeah.
I'll give you a heads up.
All right, Marcelo Flowers, I'm sorry, Flores. Marcelo Flores. Thank you. Hello, Nipa, how's it going?
I'm good, Your Honor. How are you?
I cannot complain. It's a beautiful day. We're all currently alive. We can't beat that.
That's right. No use complaining anyway, Your Honor.
No.
Somebody always has a bigger problem than you.
You know what? Like the song says, you gotta have high hopes.
That's right.
All right. Yes. Oh, don't make me because I will. I remember it from you know,
Laverne and Shirley.
well, I remember it from Laverne and Shirley, but also you remember they did a movie of it, but they also did a play, Damn Yankees.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Oh, you should watch Damn Yankees. It's about this guy who makes a deal with the devil, right? So he always wanted to be a baseball player. So he is turned back to young and he becomes this famous baseball player. But then, of course, he misses his wife and everybody. So you got to have high hopes. Oh, but Sean, I'll talk it. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 0443 State versus Marcelo Flores Jr. Can I have parties announced?
Jason Pierre, head of the state.
Nipa Gallegos Carrillo for Mr. Flores.
And are you Mr. Flores? All right. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Marcelo Flores Jr. who's placed on community supervision in 2024 CR 0443 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 200 grams on May 21st, 2024 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 41 on or about the 18th day of February 2025 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Marcelo Flores Jr., the then and there, failed to comply with the rules and regulations of the felony drug court by failing to attend treatment as scheduled in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that?
This is true.
All right.
I will waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objection to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 6 years in prison and up to there is no fine, but sentence you up to 6 years in the prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 41?
Yes, ma'am.
Court is going to find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we request to continue Mr. Flores on probation. If you looked at his the recommendation by he's going to.
All right, any objection?
Yeah, and he was doing very well, Your Honor, very well. He had two in February, he had two, one by admission and the other, I think, by urine for drug test, a dirty UA. The reason we're here is because he didn't finish his drug court.
All right.
All right, and so he was told that he's just gonna get a 30-day sanction for it, and 30 days are up, and that's why he thinks he's scared. But, okay, so we know that, so we're gonna leave it up to you, Your Honor. He wants to be continued on probation. He wants to have another chance at drug court. And like I say, he was doing so well, and I don't know, something must have happened, and so he given another opportunity to do drug court, and proceed with his probation.
All right. You okay, Cindy? Do you need a break?
I have my medicine there that's for the coughing. Let me just grab it.
Yeah, no. Oh,
Get that
yeah.
tickle in your throat.
Oh, and it doesn't go away, right?
Does not go away.
Uh, Yaya. All right, so I'm going to take up Portales and Courtney Sloan. Then after that, we're going on recess.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else, that's right. All right, we're back on the record.
Oh, and the
Yes.
alternative, y'all. The probation did recommend, lifetime recovery followed by IS. So, ISF. And so, but also all he wants, Your Honor, to consider, give him another opportunity for, drug court and continue him on probation.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Marcelo Flores Jr.
All right, so you were sent to felony drug court. Why didn't you successfully complete it?
Can you repeat?
You were sent to felony drug court. People who go there are sent there because they have drug issues and they have issues maintaining their sobriety. Why didn't you successfully complete felony drug court?
I use.
All right. And then what is this about your phone and what was in your phone?
About the pictures.
You know, a lot of times people don't realize that in felony drug court, they do deep dives. You know, sometimes in these courts, we don't have a chance to do a deep dive, like looking in your cell phone, seeing what's going on, but they do. So it appears that maybe you were moving through a phase, but you were not internalizing. So, I mean, you're staring at me. Why did you have this in your phone?
A picture of somebody.
No, I mean, it's more than pictures. I don't think you want to discuss what you had in your phone because I'm not trying to have people potentially raid your home or anything. But why did you have things in your phone that you were not supposed to have in your phone? Hypothetically, if I had a drug problem and I were in felony drug court, guess what? All the drug paraphernalia that maybe I had, I should get rid of it because I'm supposed to be serious about my sobriety. If there are photos of me using drugs or somebody else using drugs, I would delete that because that's supposed to be my old life. You understand? So why would you have in your phone criminal activity?
Can I have a moment, Your Honor, with my client?
Sure.
Just one moment.
Oh, Jason. All right, this is what you can
Thank you.
return that to probation. This is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 41 true. The court is going to grant the motion, give you credit for any time served. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. And the court will recommend the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are in deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right. Well, good luck to you when you are released. If you can't find a place where they can help you maintain your sobriety, if I'm still here, you can come back here and I will look for a place that will be beneficial to you, okay? All right, thank you. All right, who is here? I'm Vanessa Portales. And probation, this is an application. Court is calling let me let you have a seat because probation just stepped out. They should be back in a few minutes. Courtney Sloan. Hi. All right, on this case, where are we on discovery?
Your Honor, the state has produced the discovery.
And state, were you able to tender an offer?
Yes.
All right, how old are you?
43.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll set this for a plea deadline date in 2 weeks, please. And if you can give the defendant a reset form.
April 7th.
All right, your plea deadline date will be April 7th. On that date, you need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. If you have not reached an agreement, then your next setting will be a jury trial. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What page is Sloan on? Thank you. Is she also Flores? Okay. All right, who is here on Teresa Frias? All right. And where's your client?
Your Honor, do not know about my client's whereabouts at this time. Tried best attempts to contact to remind of court dates, however, to no avail, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 011-807 and 2024 CR 011-808, State versus Teresa Frias. Could I have the parties announced for the record? State.
Andrew Harris, Salem.
Defense.
Renee Munoz.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:44 a.m. Deputy, and your client did not make an announcement. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor, she's up.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not since the last court date, Judge.
All right, state.
In each case, forfeit the bond, issue a warrant.
All right, a judge's warrant will be issued. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider, but I'll note for the record that her PR bond was previously reinstated.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
Will do.
thank you.
Thank you.
Portales. And probation, this is an application. And counsel, you're on this side.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2024 CR 0125506, State of Texas versus Vanessa Portales. Can I have parties announce?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Ted Wood representing Ms. Portales.
And are you Ms. Portales?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Counsel, have you received all discovery?
I have, Judge.
Did you review it with your client?
I have, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Portales, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Any objection?
None, Judge.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with harassment of a public servant. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
I didn't understand.
The rights that I've explained to you, do you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you intending to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you sure? She's sure she wants to enter into this plea bargain agreement, counsel?
Judge, I think she may be concerned about the waiver of the constitutional rights that you articulated, but I explained to her that those rights are waived for this proceeding and this proceeding only.
Hmm.
So she's not given up her rights for the rest of her life or forever and ever. It's for this proceeding and this proceeding only.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes,
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
yes,
Ms. Portales, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
you
I'm
have to
sorry.
say yes.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge, probation was recommended, I believe, or community supervision for 3 years.
Well, that's a recommendation, but we're just going over what the plea bargain agreement is, which
Very
you all have agreed to.
Very
You
well.
understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, in defense, was that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
State?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, community service hours, and also no contact with a resident on Nogalitos Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78225. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
No objections, Judge.
And state, have you spoken with the complainant?
No, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you. You may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand that you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same, and the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
I don't think there was a PSI requested, Judge.
No. So do you wish to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, Ms. Portales and I reviewed the situation, and she believes that it's in her best interest, and I agree with her that jury trial is not in her best interest. And the judge, we're just asking that you go along with the 3-year recommendation and give her a chance to rebuild her life.
All right. What do you do for a living?
I'm a Valley Living. I do work for the community apartment complexes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what do you do?
For Valley Living, I pick up like their trash and stuff and put it in the compactor.
Okay.
I work a part-time job due to that because I do my GED. Right now I'm in GED classes.
Mhm.
I'm studying for a truck driver, so I do work my part-time because of that. Put in my hours of school to make time for that as well.
Okay. And do you have any children?
My children are 23 and over, so
Do you have grandchildren?
no, not yet.
And when you say not yet, is there one on the way?
My daughter mentioned she just lost her baby. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. All right. So now the big question, why are you spitting on someone? Nobody likes to be spit upon.
I know. To be honest with you, Your Honor, I don't know if I'm able to talk about this to you, but I'm going to tell you, I don't remember what happened to me that night. I do remember when I was sober, one of my old growing up friends that lived down my street, they asked me to take him to the bar. And me being nice, and I haven't seen him for over 50
So
years.
did you,
I ended up taking them to the bar and dropping them off at the bar, and they're like, hey, you want to come in so you can.
and did
go
you
in
drink as
there.
well?
And I went in there to because I love pool. I've always liked to play pool as a child.
Mhm.
So I went in there, and one of the girls that I took that we grew up from our childhood, she offered me a drink from the bartender, but they're like, when I got that drink, I hesitated to get it, but the drink, I believe that it had something in it. After that,
No, here's the thing.
I don't remember.
The problem is that it appears to me that you have issues with your sobriety and you should not have been drinking at all anyway. Let me tell you something, what I know. What I know is that if you are being clean and sober, there may be certain places that you should not go. But if you decide to go, like if a friend, and I use that term loosely, because if it was a friend, they would never have said, hey, let's go to a bar to begin with. But let's say you go to a bar. A friend should not be buying you drinks. And if they are your friend, then they know what your issues are. They know if you're trying to maintain your sobriety, because then we end up here. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So that person should probably be removed from your friends list. And they always tell you, you need to change people, places, and things. So sometimes mainly it's the people. You understand?
And you know what, Judge, I was telling my lawyer that from my childhood, we grew up in the same neighborhood. So I ran into her, seeing her, and when she asked me for the ride, and I did all that, and I took them. I hadn't seen this person for over 15 years. Now
you
that
know
we're
what?
adults.
Sometimes people are best left in the past.
Or
Because when you break up with somebody, there's a reason you broke up with them. When you haven't seen a friend in a while, there's a reason why you haven't seen them in a while. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs, proof of employment, within 30 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. I'm going to order 90 sober meetings in 90 days. TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. 200 hours of community service restitution. If you obtain your GED or trade school certification, the community services will be deemed satisfied. So it's up to you whether or not you want to end up picking up trash in the heat of the summer in San Antonio. Probably going to be about 100 and something.
Warmish.
Yeah. So that's up to you.
Thank you, Judge.
There is to be no contact with 2432 Nogalitos. And that's 78225. Probation, is there anything else? All right, I'm not going to order the fine.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate that.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
And,
ma'am.
and do you need anything else from the court?
May I have a work note,
What, for being here today? What do you mean a work note?
like just so I can have for my records?
I don't understand what you mean by work note.
Like, I wanted to ask if I can have a letter for when I go back to work that they know that I came here.
Oh, no, I don't do that. That's something you have to get from your attorney.
Okay.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, make sure you stay in contact with your probation officer, because in this court, to be successful, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you. All right, who's here on Randy Folsom?
We just took him back to.
Okay. So 1:30. Yeah.
It's almost.
All right. And then Jaime Escobedo, who is the attorney? Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Jaime Escobedo? Oh, he's here.
I was told he did not respond.
All right, sir, just have a seat. We'll see you all back at 1:30. The court is going on recess.